house smell. Then I want you to picture, like, have you ever seen that movie, The Grinch? Jim Carrey. So the movie The Grinch, and you know when like all the trash comes into his place, you know that scene? So I want you to imagine like I'm hanging out in my client's nice brand new home. I'll put this over my heart. It's well with my soul. Everything's looking beautiful. It's like gorgeous, right? And then all of a sudden, these boxes start being brought in by the guys, right? The guys finishing up all the little loose ends in a construction project. And the boxes, my friend, are they beautiful and well with my soul? No, they are not well with my soul. I'm going to take this, I'm going to set this down over here. Actually, I'll put this back behind me so we can see this as a reminder. Here, I'll even move over a little titch. So the boxes start coming in, and they are the junky boxes. I know you know what I'm talking about. Those boxes that when the holiday season was over last year or the year before, you just kind of threw everything in and you shoved it out. You sent it out to the shed or the shop or storage or something. You said, kids, just take this, or you talk to your spouse and you're like, just get it to the storage unit. You were done, right? Those boxes were the boxes that came into my client's home. They were tattered and torn and filled with a bunch of stuff, right? Well, are you familiar with the concept of energy, like resonance? In my vortex, I have a term for it. It's called resonating, right? Resonating, whether it's resonating authority, resonating beauty, resonating goodness. Well, this was resonating junk, okay? And kind of a lot of memories, but maybe not good. You know how sometimes you'll unpack a box, whether it's holiday or something else, and you unpack it and you're like, you start to cry. Or you're like, dang it, I remember this. You start to get angry. You start to like, I don't know, you start to get kind of, I don't know, it's not a good energy, right? Well, a lot of times, and this is what happened in this situation. This is what got me into holiday decor, planning and events and all that kind of stuff with my clients, my interior design clients. That's what was happening. It was like these boxes have, do you remember that song from, I think it was Sesame Street? Which one of these things does not belong? And they'd have like an apple, a pear, an orange, and a rock. Right? And you're like, well, the rock is not a piece of fruit, so it doesn't belong with the apple, the orange, and the pear, right? Well, in the same way, what we were kind of physically witnessing in this situation, and my client could feel it too. She's like, I don't know, something's not quite right here. And because we're sitting, remember, get that picture back in your head. We're sitting there in this space where, like, it's beautiful, right? There's some loose ends and stuff, but the house is pretty, the smells are good. And all of a sudden, these junky old boxes are coming in. And we hadn't even really thought about it. And so I had this kind of like holy moment of like, that is not going in this house, right? Let me give you another example. I really want to seal this because a lot of people are like, Anne, why are you so passionate about planning and the holiday season? Well, I want it to be well with your soul, friend, right? Because the spaces and places that you and I inhabit that surround us, I have this saying. Go ahead and write this down. The spaces and places that you and I inhabit either move us forward or they hold us back. All right. And so we just spent a year and a half designing this gorgeous custom space and place to move our clients forward in their life. And as soon as they're on the forward motion, they're bringing all this junk in. Now, I know our holiday memories are not junk. We're gonna talk about that when I get into what we call the happy plan, okay? Which is actually what came out of this. But the other stuff, it can hold us back, right? So I asked my client, I was like, hey, I got an idea. You ever had a spur of the moment idea? Maybe you're in Hobby Lobby or you're at the craft store or you're like carousing online and you see a ribbon and that ribbon like sparks an idea for you and you're like, that's the ribbon. Or you see an image on Pinterest and you're like, all of a sudden you get an idea. Well, that's what happened to me in that moment. I was like, hey, and I leaned into my client and I said, what would you think if, now I knew she was having a party. She was having a like a little cocktail party, not a big party, but a party. I was like, what would you think if I like did a little bit of this for you? Like, because I didn't want people coming to the party, seeing this gorgeous house and this janky, like not very well structured and organized holiday thing. And I wasn't trying to redo all of her holiday memories. I was just trying to curate, right? Somebody write in the chat, curate. And she's like, I said, give me this much money. Let's see how it goes, right? How bad could it be? And so she did, and I did, and it saved the day. We'll just write, it saved the day. Like I'm kind of like, oh, I don't know. it wasn't like Martha's finest, right? But it definitely got us closer to that well with my soul sign. And in the process, have you ever gone through something? Think about this for a minute. Have you ever gone through something? Maybe you've designed something or imaged something, or you've done a bunch of pins on Pinterest and you've gone through that process. Maybe you work with clients, maybe you just work with yourself, right? Maybe you love to design and decorate your own space. Remember, in the Holiday Decor School, we actually have tracks. We have like professional tracks for professional designers and decorators. We also have, and florists and stagers, we also have homeowner tracks, right? Homeowner tracks. And like professional quality, like you're a homeowner, you've got the knack for design, you've got it, right? And you just want to be able to basically fire your event planner. Right now, nobody take offense if you're in the pro track, but maybe you want to actually be able to increase your skill set. And so we were like, all right, this looks pretty good, right? But in that process, I had an aha. Have you ever been in that process of doing your research, learning a new skill, and you have an aha? I was like, aha, because I couldn't find what I needed to up level the look in any place I was going. And I was like, I'm a designer by trade. And so I tried my wholesale sources, and that was just, can I get real for a minute? Right? You ever been to a wholesale holiday market? Oh, it's like a cacophony of order 16 months in advance, right? And that's what we do in the professional spaces, right? It's got to order it, design it, come on a ship from like the middle of nowhere and like come back again. And like there's all this logistic piece. So I didn't have time to go that route. And then I went out and I went to all the retail places. I was like, I don't care where I buy stuff. I don't care if it's Walmart or Neiman Marcus. I don't care. I trust my eye. Somebody write in the chat, trust your eye, right? Your eye has been given to you by the creator so that you can navigate your actual life. So I was in that place where I'm like, I don't care where I find stuff. So I was buying Costco and Walmart and our local craft store, and I was taking stuff apart and putting stuff back together. We made it work. But in that fluster, if you will, I was like, there's got to be a better way. There has to be a better way. And I was like, thinking to myself, this is miserable. Like this process is miserable. Like what would my client have done if I hadn't like done this and stepped in and done that? And if you've ever been in that situation, you're like, man, that thing was a lot of work. That holiday season was a lot of work. What would have happened if I hadn't actually done all this stuff myself? Never been in that place? That's where I was. And so I was like, miserable. And then I had this light bulb. What's the opposite of miserable? Well, it's happy. Right? And I'm like, happy. Like, I'm not talking like happy, sappy, like, clown happy. I'm talking actually happy. You ever heard that phrase, happy holidays, right? There's a reason we use that phrase, or Merry Christmas, right? It's just not miserable Christmas, it's Merry Christmas, right? Have a blessed Hanukkah, like shalom, right? It's not, crap show. It's blessed, it's shalom, it's peace filled, it's happy, it's merry. And I was like, and I had a lot of clients at the time. They celebrated Hanukkah, they celebrated Christmas, they celebrated a whole bunch of different kind of holidays in their vortex. Actually, had clients from 6 continents, right? Never had a client from Antarctica, right? But have clients from 6 of the 7 continents. And so they had different cultural traditions. And so I was like, what if we created something called the happy holiday system, right? The happy holiday home. And I was like, that feels like we're getting closer to it is well with my soul, right? And so, next year rolls around and I'm kind of like, have you ever had a really good idea and then you just let it sit dormant for a little bit? And then all of a sudden you need that idea. So you got to pull it out again of your bag of stuff, right, on the back, like Mary Poppins bag, right? You're pulling out an umbrella, you're pulling out all this stuff. So I did that for the next season. I'm like, all right, we're gonna do this. We're gonna put this together. And so we did. We put the happy holiday home system together, and we started to come out with products and services, information products for decorators, designers, and hobbyists, home enthusiasts, in fact. We came up with something called stress-free holiday home and holiday tabletops and the happy holiday home and all that kind of stuff. Now, one of the things I wanted to unpack with you today in June, now it doesn't matter when you're watching this, it's okay. We actually have a product last minute holiday, right? Because we still get the calls, and like, what do I do? It's like December 1st, right? And you're like, I think I want to have a party. And you look around, your house doesn't have anything done yet. And you're like, I got to find decoration. So we actually have something, it's called the Little Black Dress of like Haute Holiday. And we got a whole training on that in the Holiday Decor School. It's pretty cool. But today, I wanted to just chat planning, right? The happy holiday plan. So is it okay if I just unpack with you the acronym happy and how, like, what are the next steps for this for you, friend? Like, what are the next steps for you? I don't know if you can hear my pug snoring beneath. I've got on my desk there are 2 little things where my pugs like to sit at my feet. Maybe you have pets too. Let me know what your pets are in the chat where you're watching this. I ask that because, part of having it be well with your soul, like that little sign there, part of being happy is making spaces and places that hold your life season where you are today, right? Today. So let me know in the chat, where are you today? Do you have pets? Do you have young children? Do you have older grown children? Have they flown the nest? Do you have grandchildren? Do you have, like, what does it look like? Are your parents living with you? Your aging parents? Like, what does it look like? Right? I had one holiday season where, this was well over 2 decades ago. My mom was sick. She had cancer. Have you ever had a holiday season where somebody was going through something? And so in that holiday season, what looked like a happy holiday home was a little different, right? It was a little more tempered. But in that one, my sisters and I had a plan. We got the tree, we did all the work for my mom and my dad, and we blessed them so that they didn't have to do it. One of the powers, friend, of building a plan is the joy that comes out of the process just say this with me, of owning who you are in this season, right? Embracing it, right? Have you recently come off of a transition? Have you recently sold a new house, bought a new house, moved across the country, right? Have you had someone graduate onto heaven full time and you're like, wow, this is the first holiday season I'm not with, they're not with me. I don't know how to handle that, right? So instead of avoiding that, what I want to do in this series is really train and empower you to approach this like a really wealthy. I want you to imagine what it would be like for you if your family and your home dynamic was a place of health and wealth and beauty. I'm not talking like, now nobody take offense at this, but I'm not talking like, the Bravo TV series that some of y'all might be watching, right? I'm not talking about that kind of plasticky, wealthy, kind of richy kind of look. I'm talking about a space and a place where your home actually curates spaces where your family unit, whatever your family unit looks like, has a place of wealth and health. It's a safe place, it's a happy place, right? No matter the season you're walking through. And that's really what we want to do, right? Now, again, I'm all good with beauty. Okay. I'm good with couture clothing. I mean, that was the name of my brand. I got some Oscars in my closet. I got some Oscar de la Renta, not Oscars, Oscar de la Rentas. I got some Balmain. Like I got it. I got it. Right. But it's not what I'm wearing every day. I think this one came from like TJ Maxx, right? So depending on what season we're in, I want you to be able to, well, just say, I trust my eye, right? I trust my eye. I trust that my soul, when we make space to plan for the holiday season, we trust that our soul, that it will be well with our soul. All right. So can I give you a couple of really key tips today? All right, we just got a little couple more minutes on this. Let's go ahead and would it be okay if I gave you like the top ways that we actually plan for the holiday season? And then if you'd like, we've got some workshops coming up. We actually have holiday workshops, like happy holiday home workshops, where we gather together in small groups and we actually plan. We go through these different stations and we do it online. Goodness, we even get like special bonuses, like little things. Can I share with you? Is it okay if I give you like a nugget to get excited about? Like we even have spaces and places where you're actually able. Have you ever seen those holiday cards that are like custom, right? Custom, like pictures, pretty pictures and pretty custom artworks that are on holiday cards. Friends, we even do that for our clients. We have books and stories. If you haven't listened to my holiday decor podcast, you should. We have a really cool feature. It's called Tinsel Time. Well, in our holiday home workshops, our happy holiday home, in these planning workshops, we have some for tabletops, some for the overall plan, some for, presents and cards and all that kind of stuff. And I guess what I want to say to you is that there are a couple of key principles that we always come back to. So would it be okay with you if I gave you just a couple of those principles today? And well, would you like to do another one of these? Well, how about we just do another one of these, right? We just come on live on a Saturday and I don't know, maybe the spouse, maybe you're the husband and you're the holiday junkie. Maybe you're the wife, you're the holiday junkie, and it's not really a junkie. I think it's a kingly, it's a kingly call, right? I really do think it's a kingly call because, the holiday season, one of the reasons I'm so passionate about this now is, even though it started one way, as I was invited into clients' homes and helped hundreds of families do this. It's that place where the holiday season can be one of the most stressful times of the year, right? More people have bad things happen to them sometimes during the holiday season. And I just want to bring a glimmer, a glimmer of hope and happy and beauty and peace into that, so that you can have fun, right? You can tee up your new year starting in January, right? All right. So what are some of these keys? I'm gonna unpack. Let's unpack HAPPY. So we got 5 of them to unpack. What if we unpack 2 today? And then if you want more, you're like, and give me more. How do I get to the workshop? We have virtual workshops. We have in-person workshops. We have all sorts of goodies. So if you want more, it's all good. We can just drop a message, just write the word more wherever you're watching. And we got trainings, we got all sorts of goodies for you. So what's the first one? Well, so you remember that story I was telling about this client? She had this beautiful home. And I had this kind of light bulb moment, popcorn moment. You ever had those popcorn light bulb moments? You're like, what's the opposite of miserable? Because I was thinking, this is miserable. Right? I don't like this. I'm feeling more like Jim Carrey in The Grinch before, right? Before his heart grew, right? So I was like, happy. And then, I went into the acronym world, right? HAPPY. What is happy? Well, the first thing, let's go back to that story for a minute. As the boxes were coming in, it's like, can I just be, I don't think I can use this word on like when I'm streaming. It was hell. It looked like hell. I was like, this is a hot mess. This is not good. And I was like, I just want to like a haven, right? Like, think about the difference between a hell and a haven, right? So just get a hold of the first H in our happy is creating a haven, right? Now, a haven for a raven is different than a haven for a Labrador, right? 2 different homes for 2 different animals. Well, in the same way, a haven for my client at the time was very different than a haven for me, right? 2 different seasons in life. Remember at the beginning of this, I said, we're going to tackle some principles of really wealthy mindset, healthy, generational families, right? I don't know who first said this. I think it was, I know her name is Dr. Sonia Stribling, I think. She said, you may not come from a wealthy family, but a wealthy family can come from you. Okay. Now, I don't know if she's the first person who said that, but I want to give her attribution on that. And so you may not have come from a happy, peace-filled family that did the holiday season really well. You may have come from a door slamming, drink, whatever, drunk, I don't know, right? Everybody has their moments. There's a funny scene from an old movie. Now, let me know if you get this obscure movie reference. There was a movie, it was called The Lion in Winter. There's a funny scene. Well, I think it's funny. Katharine Hepburn, I think, was the actress, and she's been thrown into the dungeon. I don't know, she's about to be beheaded or something like that. It's a mess. I will not use the French. It was a shiitake show, all right? And she has this funny line. She's like, every family has their ups and downs. So maybe you've come from a family that is having some ups and downs, but it doesn't mean that a wealthy, healthy family can't come from you now, right? So the first one is we're always looking to move from the hell, whatever the present day misery is, right? Miserable, into the haven, right? We want to move into, what does a haven look like for you? When we start with our top end, like our big clients, right? We have clients who engage our lifestyle design. Now, just sit down for a second and don't freak out. But we have clients that engage our lifestyle design that start at about $60,000 and go up. Okay. Clients will wire us $60,000. They'll wire us $100,000 to help design their lifestyle for their generational family. Like that's what my interior design business did, Couture Chateau. We were from, the silverware to the airstrip, basically. And this overview of the lifestyle that incubates a really powerful, wealthy, healthy generations. Does that make sense? So I share that with you, not to like be braggy. I just share that with you to give you some context on what I'm bringing you. I'm not just like stumbling out of a Pinterest board or a magazine yesterday, right? I've actually been in the game a long time, since 1987. And like I said, I have clients from 6 of the 7 continents, with all manner of different cultural traditions, right? That's why we deal in principles for lifestyle design. It's really what I do, lifestyle design. And in that process, the first thing that we have them do is we're like, hey, let's sit down and follow my proven framework. I have a proven framework for getting at your haven for this season. I've actually developed it's part of our certification training for our designers and decorators who are working with clients at that level, like high-end clients, and they want to be able to bring something exceptional into that space with them. We train them on how to like build out a brand for their home and how to actually do all these really cool things to create the imagery, if you will, of the haven. That's the first part. Now, here's what I noticed. Have you ever seen or been into a spectacularly beautiful space or a place, right? Maybe you've seen a house in Architectural Digest or Veranda or Elle Decor or one of the European magazines, and they're unpacking the castle or something, and it looks beautiful, right? And you're like, something's not right. Have you ever experienced that? You know how you go to some place and it's like it's brand new, maybe it's a new build or it's a model home, and you're like, it's beautiful, but it has no soul, right? It has no life in it. It's like, kind of feels like a tombstone, right? It's like Madame Trussard's wax museum. You're like, looks real, takes a picture like it's real, but it ain't real. Right? You're like, something's off. I'm like, So we started with this whole haven thing. This is, I don't know, decades ago. And we're like, okay, we're going to get into the haven piece. We're going to create the haven. And I noticed something. The havens could be beautiful, but without this second key, they didn't have life. Like they didn't have a soul. And so the second one, the second A in our happy system, stands for ambiance. Go ahead and write ambiance. Now, if you know anything about the etymology of words, right? Nerd alert here, right? The etymology, ambient, ambiance. Don't have time to go into it right now, but the whole concept is that it infuses soul into your happy haven home, right? For the holiday season. One of the reasons we demark, we even have a manifesto. Somebody write manifesto. We have a holiday manifesto. Do you know that? And we help our clients create manifestos in these workshops for their homes as well. It's this super cool process. You want to come to a workshop? Let me know. They're like these creative symphonies of like fun and hope, right? How cool would it be if we could take our eyes off of all the junk going on, all the noise, the cacophony, right? And then actually put it onto the symphony. What's happening that I believe our Creator has given us the opportunity to bring into this spectacular earth, right? Like, what is EARTH? Art, right? Earth without art is just earth. Right? Eh. So what we want to do is we want to create this haven, and we walk you through this process of how do we do this with our healthy, wealthy, multi-generational families, right? Not the ones you're seeing on like Pinterest and lifestyle influencers, but actually like, those real conversations that you have with like real people and real friends in real moments. And you're like, all right, this is what it's all about. We want to help you create those, right? So what's the first two principles? We want to get a hold of the haven, the H, right? Then we discovered that the haven without any soul was just empty. It was just a building, right? Have you ever been to the home of someone who's recently passed to glory? And you go in and all of a sudden it's like, well, they're not there anymore, right? So there's no soul in that space. Well, what we want to do with the ambient piece, the ambiance, is we want to actually help you infuse the soul, the life, right? The spark, the glitter, if you will, the how do I even articulate it? It's like I'm looking up right now. I have a crystal chandelier on the ceiling in this office, and it just reflects all this light. Well, in the same way, we want to actually steward and plan and ideate the ambiance that you're going to create in your happy holiday home. So those are the first two principles. I wanted to be able to unpack with you this lovely day in June, because my heart for you and is that, and I believe this likely touches you know how you like have those latent hopes and desires, and sometimes you don't even give yourself permission to voice them because it's like, could that even be possible? I don't even want to get my hopes up anymore, right? Well, I want to speak a word into that and say, get your hopes up again, friend, right? Get your hopes up. The family, your home, whatever it looks like, it's actually the backbone of possibility, right? And so no matter what it looks like, if it's a mess, if it's tidy, if it's empty, if it's full, if it's expensive, if it's not, if it's owned, if it's rented, whatever, it doesn't matter. Because right now, we can start right now, right? So first two principles, what are they? Let's begin to create a haven, right? And then let's infuse that haven with some soul, some ambiance. Okay. All right. So here's my question for you. Have you had fun today? Has this been encouraging? Maybe you're out doing gardening and you're just listening to this. Maybe you're listening to this on our holiday decor podcast. Maybe you're at a garage sale, like looking, and all of a sudden you see something holiday. And you're like, I know it. I knew it. Right? That's your sign, right? Or maybe you're just having a conversation. Maybe you're sitting by somebody's hospital bed, right? Maybe you just lost a friend. Maybe, I don't know, right? Life, you're just maybe just in the middle of life, right? Well, would it be okay with you if I invited you to something, right? Would it be okay if we just had some fun, right? We got a little happy and we stewarded our own souls, right? So we have these holiday decor workshops, these happy workshops. They're virtual, they're in person. And if you would like more information on them, you can find out more information about them below. I'll share a little bit more with you when we do our next, when we unpack the next. What if we unpacked the two P's the next time, right? Because it's the happy holiday home. So today we got the haven and the ambiance. The next time we do this, let's go ahead and do the next two P's and then we'll do the why, right? If you're ready, you're like, Ann, I'm ready. What I'm like, I'm all in. Get me to that place, right? No more spider infested boxes, no more cardboard boxes with mismatched traumatic memories. I gotta infuse some new into this, right? Right? There's a way to work in those beautiful memories. We actually have some amazing processes that our clients have leveraged and used for those Christmas villages and those beautiful antique ornaments that have been so carefully passed down from great grandma to mom to you. We got you, friend. We got you. So from my heart to yours, from my home to yours, today, Ann McDonald, right? Let's have a happy and blessed and prosperingly planned, right? Spaces and places, right? So that it is well with your soul. All right. You want more information on our workshops? Go ahead, click the links, look for the links below. My team will put these in. We're on live right now. So if you're watching live, you'll have to wait until the live renders, and then my team will drop these in for you. All right. Blessings, friend. Happy day today. There's a reason you're here. And the stewardship of home is a high and noble calling. All right. Remember this, the whole battle was over a chair. I always like to say that. End on that when people are like, decorating design, what? I'm like, nope. The whole battle in creation was over a chair. All right. Give yourselves a round of applause. We love you. Check out the links below. Make sure you're subscribed. You like this. Share this with a friend. Just get some encouragement on, right? Let me just speak a word of hope and help into you today. All right, friends. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.